over the last few days, we've been hearing about the leader of Cheshire East Council, Cllr Jones. There were calls for him to resign after a BBC Radio Stoke investigation revealed he'd been using council staff to help him attack his political opponents on Twitter. That breaks government rules. Here are a few of the things he tweeted, which have been read for us by people in Crewe.
On UKIP, I just want to say CE Conservatives have got the message following elections on Sunday.
Labour think they can win the battle on housing, but this is a party that wants to build 200,000 homes. Not good policy.
Sandbach campaigners, beware Labour. They would not fight as hard as we do to save our countryside.
Well, a Labour politician has now written to the Secretary of State raising concerns over the alleged misuse of public resources. Tim Roca is Labour's prospective parliamentary candidate for Macclesfield and joins us on BBC Radio Stoke now. Good morning.
Good morning.
What have you actually said to the Secretary of State then?
Well, I've said to him this is a very alarming case. It appears from the investigation that your colleagues have launched that there were tweets of a party political nature drafted by staff, and as you know, staff are meant to be impartial. They're not meant to be used in this way. So I've called on him urgently to look into this matter and see if any rules have been broken. Certainly the council's constitution appears to have been broken.
What should happen then?
Well, personally, I think that Mr. Jones does need to consider his position. I mean, either he knew when he was doing this that it was wrong, or he didn't have the common sense to appreciate that council staff shouldn't be placed in this position, in which case, again, he's in the wrong. So I do think he needs to really consider very hard whether he should be leading the council anymore, I'm afraid.
You're stopping short of calling for his resignation, though, are you?
Well, I've asked for this review because I think it's important that it's looked into properly. I do think that the investigation that your colleagues launched has been fairly clear, but as I say, it's important that we establish whether any government rules have been broken, and in that case, I think if it's been proven that they have, then he would need to resign.
There will be people listening this morning who think, hang on, you've got a Labour politician having a go here and there's a general election on the way. You're not just doing this to gain support, are you?
Well, look, it's important that when rules are broken, people are called to account for them from any party. And here in this case, there seems to be at least a prima facie case of some very straightforward rules being broken by Cllr Jones. Your colleagues raised it. It's a matter of public interest. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong in drawing it to people's attention. But in this case, all I'm doing is asking for the Secretary of State to look into this matter.
What do you expect the Secretary of State to say?
I don't know. I really don't know what the Secretary of State will do. I've copied it to the Permanent Under-Secretary at the Department for Communities and Local Government, and I would hope that Eric Pickles will take this seriously. These are very important principles we're talking about. Remember, we're talking about public resources, and we're talking about the impartiality of council staff, and those are fundamental, to be perfectly honest.
Thanks very much for talking to us this morning. Labour's prospective parliamentary candidate for Macclesfield, Tim Roca, who has referred what we've just been discussing there to Eric Pickles, who's the Secretary of State for Communities and Local Government. 21 minutes to